Welcome to O Talkin' with Dave. Put your hands together for the pastor of positivity whose glass is always at least half full. Here's Dave.
Hey, how we doing out there? How y'all doing? I hope you're great. I am top shelf as always and ready to go. Tough topic today. Tough for me because it deals, I guess, with patience. And I struggle with patience. But it's not really all-encompassing patience. It's about the wait. If you're anything like me, and hopefully you're not a lot like me, wait is a four-letter word, in my opinion. I don't like to wait. I don't like to wait in line. I don't like to hurry up, let's go. A microwave is not fast enough for me. I sit by the microwave and pat my foot and come on. I don't even wear a watch, but I look at my wrist. I don't know why. Yeah, waiting. We don't mind effort. We don't mind work. We don't mind sacrifice. I just don't like to wait. That pause when I'm ready to go. One of the worst things can happen for me. I say one of the worst things. One thing that really annoys me is when I can't do this until this happens. I can't get that until I get this, and especially if it depends on someone else. Maybe they don't have the same sense of urgency that Dave has, talking in the third person. That drives me crazy because now I have to wait, and I don't like waiting. But when you think about it, waiting feels, it makes me feel like I'm doing nothing. I've been trained to believe that if we're not moving, we're failing. If we're not moving, if we're standing still, we're backing up. That kind of stuff. So maybe it's how I'm programmed. It's served me well in a lot of areas, but it's also a huge source of frustration too. And it's not really even about procrastination. It's about timing. You look at Chinese farmer story, which I'm getting a lot of. I wish I'd have come up with it. It's thousands of years old, but I've said it in recent O-Talks, and it's helping people. It helps me. But the whole thing behind the Chinese farmer story is, I don't know, maybe good news, maybe not bad news. I don't know. We'll see. So the wait is the Chinese farmer story with a little edge. The answer is not no. It's just not now. And I go back to my childhood. A lot of times it's immaturity too. It's just, I want it now. Maybe I'm a little spoiled. I need sense of urgency. Let's go. But there's a real problem with the hurry, which is the opposite of the wait. The problem with the hurry, we live in a culture that's instant everything. Same day delivery. We've got, I think, 4 Amazon distribution centers in Vegas now. And most things I get, if I order them in the morning, I get same day, which is unheard of. So now I expect that. If it doesn't come same day, I can't wait till tomorrow. What's wrong with you? I used to be week to 10 days. Come on. But also you have instant options. If you don't want to go out to eat, you can have it delivered. You want to go buy groceries? They can bring it to you. Or they can put it together and hand it to you in a nice little whatever. You got all these options. And then with your phone, it's a supercomputer. You can get answers right now. You can text people, and some people are text whatever the derogatory word for those people who expect you to be waiting for their text and answer immediately. And if you don't, they've got the hurry. Yeah. We've got the reality world of reality TV and social media and all of the 24-hour news cycles. That's put us in a hurry. It's who's the first to report it, not who's the first to get it right. But life really doesn't work that way. Life doesn't have that same schedule. My life doesn't. And sometimes I wish it would, but then again, it doesn't need to. Yeah. Research shows that impulsive decisions are statistically more likely to create regret than a delayed decision. I go out of town for 3 or 4 days, and my goodness, I have to work my way into the house through all the Amazon packages because, boom, I buy these things. And a lot of times I see it, I buy it, they deliver it. If I'd have just waited and thought about it a little bit, I wouldn't regret all these purchases or these multiple purchases or those 18 boat oars I ordered for some reason. Yeah, that's still a mystery. But neuroscience tells us that emotional reactions peak quickly and decline with time, which means many bad decisions are made during an emotional spike rather than a rational, calm clarity, which makes sense when you think about it. Most damage is done in a hurry. It is. It's quick decisions. It's emotional decisions. It's not wanting to endure the wait. W-A-I-T. So timing, it's not passive at all. Waiting is not laziness. It's not a lack of work ethic. It's not procrastination. Waiting is restraint. And I talk about these so many times, these O-Talks. I'm looking for, I don't have the answers. I'm looking for the answers. And that's where these come from, Randy. Anyway, waiting is that restraint to not jump until you're sure, to have clarity, to have all the things that the hurry robs you of. When you think about it, even in nature, fruit that's picked too early, a lot of times if it's meant to be sweet, it's still bitter. I love the analogy with concrete. You disturb concrete before it's cured properly, you've ruined it. If the mix is not just right because you got in a hurry, that concrete can't be fixed. So you need to wait. Muscles, a lot of times, and clearly I work out. Excuse me, that one got me. But one of the big things that people do when they start a weight regimen is they're pumped up, they're ready to go. They don't want to take a day off. Muscles need to rebuild. They need rest. That's one thing, or they're going to break down. That's why sleep is so important. Sleep is all about the wait to restore physically and mentally. And oh my goodness. Let's talk about, I've got a dear friend that she's pregnant, she's due in a couple of months. Pregnancy has a timeline, and no amount of willpower. I can't imagine me being pregnant as much as I am. I look pregnant sometimes, and I know what you're thinking, and that's hurtful. However, I can't imagine that. I've never done anything that was like a 9-month cycle. That's the true wait. But you can't rush pregnancy. You can have all the willpower you want. Nope. It ain't coming out till it's ready. Both of my kids, I think they went 10 months. They liked it in there. But see, science is very clear on this point. Timing isn't optional. It's baked in to the process. It's baked in to reality. And you shouldn't. In many things you can't hurry. So that teaches the wait. One of the hardest truths to accept is something can be good or even necessary and still be premature. Think about it. Like a conversation that happens too quickly before emotions settle. Oh, now's not the time. How many times have you been around somebody, or you've been that person who wanted to, I got to talk to him. Now's not the time. That's premature. Emotions need to settle. An opportunity before you get an opportunity or a promotion or something before you're really competent for that job. It may turn out all right. However, sometimes they say, thank God for an unanswered prayer. Sometimes that unanswered prayer for what you want is because you're not ready for it. You need to prepare more. And the wait is that opportunity for you to prepare, to learn, to grow, all of those things. Because a lot of times we have the confidence, but we don't have the experience. And experience takes time. The wait doesn't mean you're doing nothing. It's the result. It's not time for it yet. And that's the wait. You can still be busy. Yeah. I know so many times exposure to something too quickly, maybe you don't have the structure or the discipline. All of those things. And then a lot of people get success. They say child stars very seldom make it through unscathed. And a lot of that is because they've had success before they built their character, before they saw the big picture. It was too much, too soon. It was the hurry and not the wait. And before it's time, a lot of times that hurry looks like ambition. Yeah, but it really behaves like a sabotage. Just because it's too much. It's too soon. It needs to wait. And there's a few things that I just want to talk about that failed because they were rushed. And that would be relationships that's where you're forced to solve everything before the trust is there. And that breaks down because you went through something. And it's not that the person's not trustworthy. It's just it hasn't been established yet. The roles are too fresh. Roles, R-O-L-E-S. Ooh, I smell bread baking. Just kidding. Also, careers. I've seen this so many times. Careers that jump too quickly into a management or a leadership role before the skill was ready. I've experienced that with a close friend. It just happened too quick for him. It did. And it's tough because that's what you want. Those people who are looking to climb the ladder and have a career, they want it quickly. And a lot of times it's offered to them too quickly. It's not their fault. However, that speed was something they weren't ready for. Others, absolutely. I've seen a lot more success with someone who has waited almost too long for that success or that promotion or that career jump. It's better to wait too long than to get it before you're ready. Also, look at inventions launched before the market's ready for them or before the infrastructure was set. I knew a family who made syrup. Syrup to you non-Southerners. We call it syrup. But they had the product. They had the sales team. It was great. But they didn't have the infrastructure in production. They could not get the bottles quick enough. They had the orders. Couldn't get the containers. And they'd marketed it that way. They were premature on some of their stuff, and it ended up hurting the company. You also look at touchscreens. They appeared on the market long before they were accepted. It was almost too soon. And then, of course, Apple pretty much perfected a lot of that. However, the technology sometimes, the market is not ready for it. That's why you see a lot of people, and we kid about this, they had when vinyl was going, they had the cassette on deck. Then they had the cassettes and they had the CDs on deck. And then they had all of this stuff. The next iteration is ready. But you can't flood the market too soon or you'll lose out on certain things. That happens a lot. Yep. I know many times in relationships, you skip the time for healing and you just move on. And because you didn't heal or grieve or contemplate certain things, you just jumped into the next relationship, jumped into the next relocation, jumped into the next whatever. If you don't process whatever happens, it's gonna resurface. So that's where the wait is important. Oh, it hurts me. It hurts me to even say this. It hurts me to wait on the next topic. Whew. But also a lot of decisions that are made under pressure because they're urgent. They're felt urgent. They may not really be urgent, but it's, this is very important. I need to make a decision. Right or wrong, never in doubt. I'll just pick an answer and we'll deal with it. Okay. A lot of times, if you slowed down and you waited, it may be waiting on advice. It may be waiting on clarity. It may be waiting, like I said earlier, on other events before this happens. Speed doesn't change the help that's needed. Speed hurts that a lot of times. And many times, that's where experience comes in. That's where maturity comes in. That's where good counsel from friends comes in. It's important. So 5 things that succeeded because someone waited, which is the opposite. And these are famous, pretty much famous people or famous situations. But Abraham Lincoln lost elections. He lost many elections before he became president. What he learned was timing. He learned patience. He learned restraint. He learned to listen. And he changed the nation. He reshaped our nation. He was also a hillbilly, as I covered in a previous O-Talk. Nelson Mandela. A lot of people, this is not political at all. I'm not taking sides at all. But he waited 27 years before stepping into the leadership role. He wasn't going for revenge. He was in prison. Rightfully so. But he didn't go after revenge. He went after sound principles. And he changed history in a lot of ways as well. There's a lot of scientific discoveries through all different kinds of technologies that are researched for decades. And they wait until the time is right. I had a good friend who was in biosciences and the different clinicals and tests and all of that. A lot of it's not always up to the government or FDA or whatever governing party to approve. However, and I don't like a lot of that, by the way. However, a lot of those things and the bureaucracy and the approvals, that is a forced wait so that the hurry doesn't have drugs or health-altering things hit the market too soon, because money's driving that, and money will make you hurry, for sure. Yeah. Athletes, you see it all the time, who will rest, maybe even set out games, rather than pushing an injury. A lot of times they push that injury, and they may come back in and they may play. They may even win the game, but they shorten their career a lot of times because they're in a hurry. And then personal growth around, let's just call it delayed gratification. Statistically, that leads to a lot higher lifetime success. It's better relationships, better health, all of these things. Delaying gratification is a good tool. Plus, we'll talk in a minute about all the things that it brings. So waiting does not slow progress. It feels like it does. It multiplies it for a lot of reasons. It doesn't make it any easier. So let's talk about some of the reasons. What are some reasons we need to wait? One of them, a big one, it's clarity. Clarity improves with time. Clarity on the decision, on the process, on the desired outcome. The hurry makes us just want something and go for it, and a lot of times get it, where clarity makes us decide or discern what we really want. In emotions, we could say the same thing. Emotions are drama with a little bit of time. Emotions calm and wisdom comes. Also comes from clarity. But wisdom instead of emotion, a lot of times it just needs a cooling period, a calming period, and reflection for everybody involved, but especially you're making the decision. And then many times, as we've talked about with technology and other things, the wait causes information to catch up. Yeah, just too quick. The information, whether it's the market information or your personal information or information about timing or competition, all of these things, when that catches up, okay, the decision is more sound and wisdom is more prevalent. Also, you grow into that moment. I know the calm. I've talked about the pause and to just hold off and relax. Maybe even a 5-second pause. Sometimes we have to grow into that moment. The wisdom, clarity instead of pettiness. or drama, many times we will grow into that moment. And other moments will happen that give us that wisdom and that sound decision and sound clarity about what's the next step. And the timing reveals whether the desire is real or temporary. That's one great thing about the wait. Is this real? Is this emotion? Do I just really want this so bad? All right, why do I want it? What's the next step? What comes after this? And you think through it because of the wait. And if it's right, it's going to survive the wait. Our internal clock is what's forcing us to hurry. So how do you decide, okay, sometimes I need to wait. Sometimes, no, I know this is right. Let's go. There's no need to wait. Well, that is the case sometimes. Like right now, I'm not going to delay self-gratification. I'm going to take a sip of this Diet Mountain Dew. They're not a sponsor, but they could be. So how do you know when waiting is necessary? It's tough. It's tough. When waiting is necessary is when everything feels urgent, but clarity is not there. Chop, chop, got to go. Oh, we got all this. I got to do that. I got to do that. We got to do this. In order to do that, I got to do this. Let's go. Sometimes things aren't clear. And if it's not clear, you need to wait. If the urgency is clouding things, all right, then wait is necessary. Or if the decision is being driven by fear or FOMO. Oh, FOMO is a dream killer. You think you got to be there. That fear of missing out is, oh no. If that's driving it, okay, you need to wait. You need to wait. Let's just hold on a minute. Let's think about this. Yeah. Or if you're trying to force an outcome, you're doing these because you want to force an outcome that may have more than one way to get there. And you're trying to force agreement or force some agreement to disagree, whatever that is. If you're trying to force an outcome without clarity on the steps, okay, you probably need to wait a minute. Yeah. Or if you're feeling pressure to do something, to make a decision, to act, rather than thinking about the peace that will come with that. That's where the clarity happens because, when I will do this will happen. And there'll be some peace out of that. So if there's pressure just to go without understanding the peace that will come, you probably need to wait. And the cost of waiting is patience, but the cost of acting is regret. Let me tell you something. An ounce of patience, if that can cure a pound of regret, it's well worth the wait. And so urgency with all of this, that hurry, that urgency, it's a liar, man. Urgency, there are situations where you do need to act. You need to act quickly, and hopefully experience will lead you to make the right decision. But if it's just urgent, panic, wait is necessary because it's worth it. I tell myself this, but I'm the worst waiter, probably in the true sense of the word, that I know. But it's worth it because better outcomes will happen with less cleanup. I remember when I was climbing the corporate ladder and I got a pretty lofty position in a company and reported to one of I guess he was a mentor. I looked up to him, thought he was wonderful, but now I reported directly to him until he pulled me aside one day. He said, look, you could tell this guy, if he was in a good mood, he'd call you babe, man or female, male or female. But if he was not in a good mood, he might call you boy. He may call you just about anything. But in this case, he was giving me a little bit of counsel. He said, look, babe, your explosions, when they cause a mess, now I got to clean them up because I reported to him. And I never forgot that because I had them. I would get messy. I would, and he would have to clean it up. I learned from that, though. But better outcomes come with the wait, with less cleanup. It's a twofer. Yeah. And also another reason it's worth the wait is you have more confidence. You have that clarity and the wisdom and the experience. So waiting builds confidence instead of second guessing yourself. And that confidence is so powerful because others will have confidence. If you second guess yourself, others are going to second guess you as well. A little bit of wait can help there. And it builds stronger foundations. It builds a process of contemplation. Let's look at this. Let's get clarity. Let's get rid of the urgency to hurry. Urgency can be there, but hey, taking a little time. That builds stronger foundations for you and for other people. And we talk about boundaries a lot in these O-Talks, and those are so important. Waiting is respect for your boundaries that you've set. If you hurry through and make an exception, that's tough. That's tough because now the exception was easy. And if it works out, oh, okay, I don't have to wait. I'm that good. How many times have you heard that? I've done this a million times. Could you have done it better? So your boundaries and respecting those through the wait, you're respecting your instincts too. It's not abandoning your gut. It's clarifying that your gut's on target. So respect for your boundaries and instincts. That's what the wait does. And then this is probably a little higher level thinking, but the peace that you get, it doesn't depend on the results. And I know that seems counterintuitive, and it doesn't go to glorious ambivalence necessarily. However, I'm doing the right thing. I know that, and whatever the results, I have a peace about it. How many times have you done that? I'm sure you've done it a lot. There have been very big decisions in my life that I've made, and I didn't know how it was going to go. But I knew for me, that's the right decision. It came from the wait. I thought about everything. I thought about everything that I knew of. And truly going into a situation after you've waited, thought it through, and you have a peace that no matter what the results are, I'm good. That, my friend, that's a good place to be in. Because time exposes the truth. Hurry hides it. It does. Getting in a hurry. So I didn't hurry through this talk, but it's pretty quick message. And I've used it a lot in the last, year or so, especially the last 6 months, to be a little more methodical, to think things through, to take that pause, to allow for the wait, to allow for silence that helped. All of these things. Wait is not a stop sign. It's not. It's a yield sign. Something's coming, okay, you got to wait a minute. It doesn't say stop. You choose to yield if something's more important. And what's more important a lot of times is a little bit of time, a little bit of experience, a little bit of conversation, a little bit of counsel, all of that. So it's not a stop sign, it's a yield sign. And again, it doesn't mean no. Sometimes it's your action that is necessary. Sometimes it's someone else's action that you're having to wait on. And it's not a no necessarily. Doesn't mean no. It doesn't mean never. A lot of times it's just not yet or not now. And at my age, I can look back at so many times. I didn't get what I wanted when I wanted. However, I got it later, and it was so much better. And sometimes the wisest thing you can do is just let time finish the thought that you started. some of the songwriters, they'll talk about, I've been writing this song. You hear it all the time. I wrote this song in the time it takes to play it. It just came to me. Mac talks about that. It's just a gift. There are people who've worked on songs for 12 years or longer. And because it wasn't right. Wow, that's the wait. They could have rushed through and put something out there. Wasn't ready. Had to wait. Had to incubate a little bit. That's the way a lot of things are. Home, work, or play. Relationships. Kids. Family. Work. Play. Your time. Your me time. It's so important. Yep. Because a lot of times I've started dabbling a little bit with some plants. I'm in the desert and I'm growing this, I'm growing that. But I want to do it. Let's go. Yeah, I don't plant seeds. I can't wait that long. Yeah, I'm supposed to water this once a week. 2 days early won't hurt. What are you doing? Some things, in order to grow, in order to mature, in order to thrive, they need time. They need time. All right. Thanks so much for hanging out. Hit me up at david@otalks.com or davidotalks.com. Let me know what you think. We got some new merch coming. It's pretty excited about it. I need to calm down. It's tough waiting on it, but I got in a hurry and ordered it. Just kidding. But I appreciate you hanging out. Appreciate you hanging on. But most of all, I appreciate you talking with Dave. Giddy up.
Hello there. Are you out of work or looking for a new career? Do you feel like you have a lot of potential and just haven't hit your stride? We know just how you feel, and we are here to help. We are Cult Leader University, and we have the curriculum for you. Clue offers options to fit your schedule. Clue has entry-level courses in stockpiling, Kool-Aid making, catchy sing-alongs, and entry-level recruiting techniques. Once you've mastered these, you can move on to advanced courses in pontificating, standing like a guru, mastering the nostril flare, and holding an intimidating stare. Enroll at Clue, and if you pay for a full year in advance, Clue will help you develop your mantra, give you ideas for clothing requirements, and equip you with original handshakes, utterings, or code names. Don't wander around in anonymity. Enroll in Clue and set your own rules. At Cult Leader University, we can't imagine what you're capable of, but we know it's impressive. Cult Leader University can change your life and the lives of anyone unfortunate enough to be around you. Remember, if you don't have a clue, we are the school for you.